time for real, honest conversation with Eric David and Jason Howard. Now, when it comes to Hollywood, and Jason's bringing it up.
I'm bringing it up.
Hollywood is not. They're not telling good stories. So let's go through this.
Okay, let's go through it. Notable winners: Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, so let's go through. Bohemian Rhapsody
Won 4 awards.
4 awards. Did you see all these movies on here or no?
No,
You didn't. Oh, okay. You told me about the Green Book, and I watched it. Yeah.
man. The Green Book, I fell in love with, man. Great acting, phenomenal acting, beautifully shot, colorized, gorgeous. The film guy in me was like, oh, so good.
Yeah.
I loved The Green Book, and I'm so glad that it won the biggest honor of the night, Best Picture.
Yes, and it deserved it. I watched all the movies except for I didn't watch all of Roma because I wanted to.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was boring.
Was it?
Absolutely boring. Look, this dude. It tells no story, and it's in black and white. So it's about this Latina lady. She's a cleaner.
Okay.
And she just lives her life, and that's about it.
Really?
Yeah. And people are like, it's amazing. It's in black and white. Just because something is in black and white doesn't make it amazing.
Huh.
Yeah, it's so boring. There's really no story. Wow. But it got nominated.
Okay.
Here's something I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
Because this was controversial during the Oscars.
Okay.
I'll set it up this way.
In the shallow, in the shallow, in the shallow, we're off to the shallow.
Know what I'm talking about?
I'm sorry. I have not a clue.
No? Okay.
I'm so sorry.
So
was that a part of a movie?
Yes. So that was part of A Star is Born, one of the Best Picture nominees.
Oh, really?
Where Bradley Cooper plays a simple cowboy. I don't think he's supposed to be simple.
Okay.
But he has simple lines. Like his dialogue. It just seems like he's simple. He's like,
yeah. Is this a drag bar? Are those your real eyebrows? Is that your real hair?
Like everything he says is simple. It's ridiculous. But the biggest thing of the night, or one of the biggest things, was that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, who plays a rock star, he's like a rock star. She wants to be a star, and so it shows her rise to fame and stardom. So they sing songs together. So they actually sang one of the songs during the Oscars. So Bradley Cooper comes out. So Lady Gaga is at the piano. She's doing her in the shallow. And then Bradley Cooper comes out, sits on the bar or the stool next to her. And they lean in and they sing the song together. And people are, in the shallow. And people are like, man, that chemistry is strong. Bradley Cooper's wife is sitting in the audience. People are like, whoa. So here's a question for you. What if you were an actor, or if Alicia was an actress?
Which she is acting right now.
Is she?
She is. She's in a local theater thing.
No way.
Jig? Yes.
Now.
And there is a part where somebody has to touch her, pick her up.
Exactly. That's my question. So if they have to, but what if you were an actor and you had to either kiss or have some sort of romantic scene? How would she feel about that? Or on the flip side, since you're here, if she has to kiss someone or have a romantic scene with another guy, how would you feel about that? Because this was some a little bit of the controversy.
Okay.
How would you feel about that?
Because
would you be
people could visibly see the connection between the two of them.
And they say, well, the one argument is, well, they're just acting. They're just really good actors. The other argument is, no, there's something going on. So how would you feel about that? I'd be pissed. Even though I know it's their job, but it's one thing to do it on film, but it's another thing to sort of carry out this whole thing after the film is done. And I'd be like, okay, look, if you're an actress,
cut this thing off.
Cut it off. You need to curry.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I don't know if I could do it. But say if I was acting and she was acting, it would be hypocritical of me to be like,
Hey, I can do it, but you can't. Because I'm a man and you're a woman.
Yeah.
Like-
that wouldn't fly. Not with the future Mrs. David.
but
No.
what if she said, but it's just my job. It's just my job to lay with these men, to lay like in the biblical sense.
Whoa. Well, clearly that is a different industry
Well, no.
altogether.
Well, no, well,
But
But, you know, portraying that.
acting, yeah. If it's acting, yeah. I'll kind of take it to another level. Like
take it to that level.
there have been moments where I have gone to have lunch with my wife in her area of work.
Okay.
And she is a professional, and she is a high school guidance counselor. And there are some phenomenal people. Now, she's been there our entire marriage. So I'm not talking about any particular moment recently.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But over the past years, I'll be honest in saying that I know there have been certain individuals that have found my wife to be attractive.
Oh, them's fighting words.
Yep. So I got to be honest with you, like whether it's on a screen, and it's somebody being an actor or an actress, right? Or it's in the workplace. I've definitely let my wife know, listen, I'm a dude. And I can sense from other dudes,
Right.
like we have this thing, and just like the ladies, same thing. Like you can sense whether a lady she's peacocking to get the guy's attention, and just the whole game. There's game, yeah. I could sense in the past there was an awkwardness between me and this other guy that was around. And I could tell that he didn't care for me, and I could sense vibes. So whether it's on the screen or it's in a normal work environment, I had to be honest with my wife and say, let's go home and talk. And when we got home, I was like, listen, this is what I'm comfortable with. This is not what I'm comfortable with. I'm picking up vibes, and you could think that I'm cray-cray.
Cray.
Or you could just trust me here because I'm a dude. And she could pick up and sense females that have,
Right.
for some reason,
Bad
thought,
intentions.
yeah,
Ew.
Jason Howard was attractive in some fashion or form. I don't know what, but whatever. So honestly, like I had to say, listen, I'm uncomfortable with this dude, and if we're committed to each other, we are. We have children. We, to death do us part. I'm going to need you to let this person know that he cannot enter into a certain comfort zone. And if he does, I'm just letting you know professionally. And I did say this. I said, I will be unprofessional.
Yeah.
And I will make him very aware outside of this place that whether the law is involved or not, there will be something that goes down.
Yep. Either you handle it or I'm going to handle it.
Yeah. And so I feel like what you're suggesting is like that chemistry between the two of them. Yeah, somebody needs to say, whoa. That's cool. That might be for the TV and to sell more tickets to go see the movie. But just so you know, is there something going on there?
Yeah.
Right? Can we have a heart-to-heart? Is there any
Heart-to-heart.
type of attraction there? Do I need to be concerned?
Yes.
Can I hold you accountable to that? Because we've also been honest with each other, and I hope that husbands and wives are kind of having this dialogue, at least we have, where we have been honest about attraction, yeah, that person is handsome or that lady's pretty for sure, but I'm letting you know, and I'm going to make sure that I don't entertain anything, and when I'm around you, that I'm closer to you to not give off any wrong vibes, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So all that to say, I've actually not had a Lady Gaga, shallow Bradley Cooper moment necessarily, but I have seen at least my wife gone through that in a non-show business format. So I can't even imagine that, right? But am I crazy to say that I think it's all about like being honest and transparent and communicating?
Being transparent. Yes.
I mean, that's a safe way, right?
Safe.
That's
Just be honest.
Be real, be honest.
Don't
and then,
cheat.
Right.
Still need to, it's still so expensive to cheat.
It is. And what does it really do for you?
It-
You know?
it-
like
you-
really.
But you have to be a good liar because you have to keep your lies straight. Now, I've never cheated, and I never will, because I'm like, it's just too much. It's just too much work. Maybe I'm just too lazy to cheat. But I'm like, and if I was cheated on, I would be pissed. So I'm like, I can't cheat on somebody else because I know how I would feel if that happened. But they're like, hey, boys, guys are just we're allowed to do it, man. It's animalistic.
Ooh.
It's the way we're built, man. So I'm like, okay, fine, but I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
I'm not cheating. I'm
that's
good.
I mean, what about self-control? What about a little bit of respect? What
Yeah,
about,
well,
you know, like self-discipline. I mean, we are not animals. We are not like cats in heat and dogs in heat.
Well,
like,
some of us are, apparently.
Well, apparently, but I mean, there is self-control with humanity. Like, so you don't have to run around.
Not with some people.
Well,
Some people desire control. I control my desires.
Ooh,
Boom.
that was actually pretty good. But anyways, yeah.
Anyway.
So back to the Oscars here. It looks like Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga cleaned up. And did you see this one as well?
I did. I saw all of them except for Roma. Roma, like I said, was so boring.
You saw Bohemian Rhapsody?
I did. The problem I had with Bohemian Rhapsody is that they told the story they wanted to tell and not the true story. And this is one of the things that bothers me about Hollywood is that they will tell stories that will sell tickets instead of ones that will live on and people will be acclaimed. So this is, I guess, acclaimed, but it's not telling the real story. Sacha Baron Cohen, he wanted to play Freddie Mercury, but he wanted to tell the real story.
Ooh.
And the band who was part of this decided, they were like, no, we want to sort of clean up the image. And that bothers me because I want the real thing. If you say based on a true story, then it should be as true to life as possible. Don't make up a bunch of stuff. That's what happened with the Black Klansman. The Black Klansman, not a good film.
Really? Spike Lee, right?
Spike Lee, yeah, not a good film. He got upset because he didn't win Best Picture, but you didn't win Best Picture because you didn't deserve to win Best Picture. I know that's bad, but it's not. It's true. And the film was disjointed. They made up a lot of stuff in there. Again, this was based on a true story, and they made up a lot of stuff in there.
But he did take home an Oscar, it looks like.
Yes.
Lee won the Best Adapted Screenplay
But
Award.
What
Is that, by the way? I don't even
Well,
know.
you take the real story and you adapt it for the screen.
Okay, that's
right?
what you were talking about.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
But a lot of stuff in there was made up, and it was made up to, I guess, get you enraged about the Klan and about racism.
Okay.
You don't have to do that. You don't have to make it up. We know the Klan is bad. We know racism is bad. You don't have to make stuff up.
That's true.
And the lead actor in there is Denzel Washington's son.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. He's not bad. I've seen him in Ballers, so he's in the show Ballers, which the first season was good. The second season was ugh.
Okay.
Third season was a little bit better.
Okay.
But he's an undercover cop. Black Klansman is about a black guy who infiltrated the Klan,
Oh.
who got accepted into the Klan.
Okay.
True story, right? Based on a true story. I was excited when I heard about this. I was like, oh man, that's great. I've heard about this story. What they did with the film didn't know if it was supposed to be a comedy or a drama.
Oh.
And because it didn't know what it was supposed to be, it just turned out to be just nothing, like bad.
Really?
And and he threw in things, he made up stuff to sort of sell the story that didn't actually happen in real life.
Oh, wow.
But one of the things that I'll say, and I talked to my buddy about this, their afros. Well, first off, the main character, Denzel Washington's son, he didn't seem like he was a black guy. He had to go to this underground black meeting.
Yeah.
And so, say you're a black guy, I'm an undercover cop. Okay. I'm going to this underground black meeting just to see what's going on. If I acted this way toward you, would you think that I was an undercover cop, or do you think I was one of the crowd? So hello, my brother. Hello, my sister. What it is, brother? What it is, sister? That's how he said it. He was so obvious. So I don't know if that was his acting or if that's the way he was supposed to do it, but it was bad. But like I said, the best thing about this movie was the afros. The black people's afros were amazing. And again, I said this to my buddy. I know why white people don't like afros. Not you, but not you. But
I actually like afros.
I
One of my
have
favorite afros, just for the record, Kid and Play. That's all I got to say.
Oh
right
yeah,
there.
dude,
Kid
he
and
had
Play.
that. Yeah,
Man, eraser head looking afro
Yeah.
was so sweet. White boy wanted that, couldn't have it. Sorry.
but I have a theory on why white people don't like afros.
Why?
In fact, I went to a school where black hairstyles were not allowed. In fact, there's a lawsuit going on right now because there are schools that were banned black hairstyles. They wouldn't let black kids have black hairstyles. We're black. What kind of
What?
hairstyles are we supposed to have? Stupid. So
Well, you're gonna have to part. You're gonna have to put a part in there.
Yeah.
you need to part it over here just a little bit. Yeah, just comb it right there.
It made
and-
him feel uncomfortable. But that goes to my point. I know why white people don't like afros. Here's my theory.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. What is one of the number one fears in Americans? It is public speaking.
Oh, okay, yes, okay.
Now, when we have big afros, black people, when we have big afros, we look like big microphones. Okay? So every time white people look at a black person with an afro, they feel that they have to give a public speech.
Okay.
And that public speech makes them nervous. So every time they see a black guy with an afro, they get nervous. That's what it is. That's why you guys don't like afros, because you feel like every time you see us, they feel
They
like
see this.
they see they see the microphone. Yeah, our hair's kind of like that. Yeah. And you feel like you have to give a public speech, so you're like, no. You get nervous every time you
We're gonna
see
make
it.
sure that no kids in our school can look like this.
Yes, because it makes
That
me nervous
scares me.
because I don't like public speaking.
It's ridiculous what prejudice does, right? I mean,
Yes.
just so bizarre. However, I mean, the Academy Awards kind of kick that in the crotch a little bit. I love, by the way, my family and I, we ended up watching Black Panther.
Yes.
And I'm just going to say it, man. We loved it. Our kids loved it. We were like, whoa, Black Panther. And did you see Superwoman? I don't know if you got
I didn't see Superwoman. I saw Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Maybe
Yeah, Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I liked Wonder
Oh,
Woman.
that was really good too. Yeah.
But that sorry, you can finish.
Well, and I was just gonna say, it's like, African Americans kicked booty this particular round of the Oscars, and Black Panther cleaned up as well. I can't remember what they ended up winning. Hannah Belchler became the first African American to be nominated and win the Oscar for the film's production design.
Yeah, so she kind of dreamed up Wakanda. So like, I mean, obviously it's in comic books, but you have to actually make this come to life, and she
did
was
it.
the one who sort of dreamed up all this.
She's freaking
But
awesome.
the good thing, Black Panther was good. I like Black Panther.
Okay.
People were saying it was the most amazing film that I've ever heard or ever seen ever.
Probably not that.
No, but I don't think it was amazing. I think it was as good as all the other superhero movies.
But don't you think it would probably got some of that type of recognition around it? Because let's be truthful and honest. Like, African Americans and in the film industry have fought very hard for years. And even you, just friend to friend, have shared in moments where you would go to try out for a particular spot, and they would want to, because you're African American, have you portray something that, quite frankly, you are nothing even close to being. But that's kind of what they expected you to put on and become. And so I feel like, African Americans have gotten a real crappy hand dealt to them
Yes.
for a number of years. And I feel like this year it's been kind of justified, and to say, here we do have this really butt kicking that comes from the comic book land, right? But the acting is off the hook. I mean, all these things came up. The CGI, everything came together and was beautiful. And I'm not just saying that it was African Americans only that made the movie, but there was a lot of star-studded African Americans in there. So even though it may not be the best movie in the world, I feel like there was a lot of validation given. And the black community, you tell me if I'm right or wrong, but the black community has rallied around it to say, yeah,
Yes.
finally.
Yes.
Come
and
on.
That's the significance of it. So the film, again, it's no worse or no better than any other superhero movie. Like, it fits right in with this
agree.
DC sort of Marvel superhero universe. But the significance of that film is that we are, black people were put in a position of positive influence.
Right,
And instead of us playing the stereotypical, and I'm just going to say it, the N-word roles, and I'll tell the story.
Well, isn't it true that in a lot of the films in the past, like even other movies, like the first person to die in a movie is usually
the black guy.
The black guy, right?
Yeah, so it's all these films where we have to like scream and shout and tap dance and oh man and all that stuff.
Right.
Like I this was black people shown in a positive light. I loved it, and this is not the only one. You had Hidden Figures. And films like that. So I liked the shift. What Jason is referring to. So Black Panther was good, but the best thing about it was the message it sent out.
Yeah.
So what Jason was referring to. So I had an audition, and I'll tell the story. One of my last auditions. This is why I stopped acting, and I feel like I've got the acting bug back, so I may hop back into it. But I was auditioning for a John Travolta movie, and I went in with the casting directors, the casting director and the casting director's assistant. And so I had my lines, learned them. And the lady was like, okay, you ready? I was like, yep, I did my slate. And she said, okay, go ahead. And they recorded, and I did my, read off my part. And it was very calm, very subdued. Because when you watch films, you know, outside of the black films, it's not like, it's not overacting. Right. And so I did it really calm, like you would see it in a film.
Yeah.
And she said, and when I was done, she was like, okay, that was good, but could you give me more? For all of you people out there, when a casting director tells you she wants more or he wants more, you can be suspicious. Now, when they say, could you give me more and could you make it more urban? That's when they want you to tap dance. That's when they want you to be the stereotypical N-word guy, and they want you to go crazy.
That's gross.
So, yeah. So I was like, okay, all right, fine. So she pressed record. I did it again. I gave a little bit more, but it wasn't overacting, right? I've done stuff where I've overacted, but it sort of fit the role. This one, no. You need to be calm. It's a film.
Yeah.
So I gave a little bit more. Okay, did it. Turned off the camera. That was better, but could you give me more? At this point, I was like, oh, she wants me to wild out. So, like, she wants me to be that stereotypical black guy. Yeah. So in my mind at that point, I was like,
I don't want the part.
Yeah, I don't want the part. I'm gonna blow this audition on purpose. I don't want this anymore. So she said, are you ready? And I was like, okay, fine. So she hit record, and I just went crazy. I didn't want it anymore. I'm going to blow this on purpose. Then she turned off the camera, and the worst part is she was a black casting director, and her assistant was black. And I could tell her assistant didn't like the directions that the casting director was giving me because it was like, oh man, she's making him do this.
So they were jumping through the hoops of what the casting director.
Yes.
So this wasn't their preference necessarily.
Well, I don't know. It may not have been their preference, but I'm like, man, it feels like, you know, when black people sold black people into slavery, because that happened. Look it up. It's not just white people, but black people did it too.
That's true.
And it's like I feel like it's a small bit of that. It's like a little bit of that, like. Come on, dance for the white man. And so I go home, I get a phone call. They love that last one.
Wow.
I was like, oh man,
But
I'm like,
yet it goes against everything.
goes against everything I've got.
yeah.
I stand for. And so I was like, oh, what do I do? And so my agent was all excited. Hey, you got a call back. You're going to meet the producers and the directors and da-da-da-da-da-da. I was like, man, I could use the money. I need the money.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, it goes against everything I believe. So what am I going to do? Well, I mean, I went to the callback and I was like, and everybody was really nice. But I just went again because I was like, I don't want it. I probably shouldn't have gone, but you want a good relationship with your agent.
Yeah.
And I would
get
have
that.
ruined the relationship because she'd be like, why aren't you going? Why aren't you doing this?
Which then she wouldn't be fighting for you and trying to put you
No.
in other parts.
Right. So
I
you're
could
gonna
see-
you're gonna lose a lot of work because of this one. But that's
Yeah.
what this whole, this whole. I hate to go into the Me Too thing, but that's what this whole thing is like. There are people in positions of power. If you don't do what they say, and the entertainment industry, though it's worldwide, it's a small group of people. So if you offend
Yeah.
you don't know who you're offending.
You could cut yourself off for
Exactly.
a lifetime.
So now you have to make a decision. Am I going to do this or am I going to I'm going to keep my morals and what I believe in? And I knew, so I knew at that point, I was like, okay, I'm done. And I stopped acting because I'm like, if this is what I have to do to get work, and these are the roles that I'm getting, and it's not just me, it's a lot of, I'll talk to other black people. It's those same roles. I'm like, I this isn't the right industry for me. So when we see Black Panther and we see Green Book and we see all these films that portray black people in a positive light, it gets me excited because now those days of tap dancing are being pushed to the side, and now we can tell stories that get me excited, and this gets me excited to get back into acting. I'm like, I like
this particular movie.
Well, this
Or
movie,
just-
but this whole that movement of showing black people in a positive light,
Yeah,
gets me
like the Green Book and
like the Green Book.
awards.
There's controversy
Oh, for
surrounding
sure,
that,
for
but
sure.
yes, like Green Book, Dr. Shirley, he was a great pianist. Black Panther, Positive Light, Hidden Figures. These ladies were crazy smart, crazy smart. They were the computers before computers, or modern computers.
They were the backbones.
Yes, and so that's why I'm excited. I'd love to get back into acting, and I think I had to go through all of that stuff to know who I was and what I will and won't accept. But that's why it bothers me when I see people like Medea's Family Reunion and Big Mama's House.
Kind of like the cheap laugh.
It is the cheap laugh, but it's not hate. This is how it is. They are A-listers. So, Tyler Perry is an A-lister. He creates opportunities for a lot of people. Eddie Murphy, A-lister. Who did Martin Lawrence? These are A-list movie stars. And if they are tap dancing, I don't want to say tap dancing, that's bad, but if they're putting on dresses to get a laugh, and that's the move, those are the opportunities that they are taking, that trickles down. So if the head honchos, if the A-listers accept those roles,
Right.
then Hollywood is like, okay, everybody else below them has to accept it. So that trickles down to small guys like me. They're going to say, well, these big guys did it, so we want more of that. So what you guys at the top accept, that is what the industry is going to allow.
Wow.
And that's my beef.
So there
with
is a
that.
responsibility.
There is a responsibility.
to make sure that you're picking.
Yes.
Not the cheap laugh.
Not the
parts.
cheap laugh. Don't portray us in a bad light, because we, the little guys, suffer when you guys do accept those things for 10 million or whatever it is.
That's powerful, man. That's really powerful. And I'm sure that there are a lot of guys listening to this going, I needed to hear that. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I've got some new favorites in terms of acting. Like,
Okay.
who doesn't love Denzel Washington? But
Denzel.
I mean, Homeboy is just off the hook.
He's good. He's
So many,
consistent.
yeah,
That dude's
consistent. And you want to talk about somebody that stayed away from the cheap laugh roles.
Yes.
This dude has said yes to so many great
Love
roles.
Denzel.
So Denzel, if you hear this, just know this white cracker loves you. All right.
And this black guy also loves your work.
But this guy that has impressed me the most out of all of this, the Oscars, I don't know if his name was thrown around or not, but I was so impressed with him. I have him up on my screen right now. But he was named after a very, very famous basketball player, is Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan.
This dude is so good
He's good.
at acting.
He's good.
He was such an awesome villain in Black Panther. I was so impressed by his ability. But his acting skills, man, he's on another level. I honestly, I felt like he was, even though he was the bad guy, he was the star-studded guy that made this movie so exceptional. I personally think. I was just so impressed with him. I've heard of him and I've seen him. What else is he in?
He's.
I
We
feel
have
like
to look it up, but he's been in other stuff.
but he killed it, man.
He did.
Oh, you know what? What about Creed? Was he in Creed?
Creed, yeah.
Creed.
Yeah, Creed.
The new
Creed
Creeds.
2, yeah, the new Creeds.
But man, this dude, like, he is on a whole nother level. And you talk about staying away from the cheap laughs.
Yes.
And this dude's picking out some slick stuff. And I feel like he's changing the face of the black acting community.
Thank you, Michael B. Jordan.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you.
I just think it's cool that he was named after Michael Jordan. That's kind of cool. But anyways, like, what else was he in? So he's got Creed, Black Panther. I don't know if did you ever see the
Fruitville Station. That people said that was good. I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I haven't seen, but I've seen some of the stuff he's in. He's good. So thank you, Michael B. Thank you, Ryan Coogler. Thank you, all those who came before us, who held it down. I appreciate you, even though it sounds like I'm hating. I'm not hating. I'm just telling the truth. I appreciate what they're doing. And in fact, yeah, Michael B. The guy in there, Andy Serkis. He's the one who was like, "Baby, don't hurt me." So he was like,
okay,
that villain.
Yeah.
I like him. He does a lot of character acting, which I think would be fun to do.
Yeah.
But where you put on that suit, they put on the suit. So he was like, he was in Planet of the Apes. He was Caesar.
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah.
so they put on the bodysuits and actually like do the movements and walk it out and do the facial
Okay.
expression. So that dude is amazing. But to me, he wasn't a really good villain. Like Michael, like you said, Michael B. Jordan was more of a bad guy than.
He was, man.
Andy Serkis.
He was
Yeah.
such a great bad guy.
was good. It was
I
good.
loved to hate him, and I didn't want to see him die.
But that's good though. That means he did a good job. If you love to hate, but you're supposed to hate,
right?
he did a good job.
Yeah, he did, man.
As long as you can separate that though,
Ooh,
like
man.
separate him from his character.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
people
yeah.
are like,
Yeah.
I hate that person on screen. It's like, no, they're
know.
just playing a role.
Because
like,
he
they're
was
not,
such a great
yeah,
actor.
it's just so good. That's how you get typecast.
Yeah, but yeah, he also he killed it in Creed.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know, but he's got that. You're gonna make fun of me, Kevin James, right? Kevin
Yeah.
James,
Mhm.
Hitch,
Will Smith,
Will Smith.
Mm.
He has a swagger to him.
swagger.
He really does.
Swagger like
You got to admit it. He's got like a swagger to him that is seriously off the chains. He's so respectable.
Yeah.
And every role he has, he's just kind of got a little bit of that attitude
Yeah.
that's found in the black community that we've talked about before.
Oh, it's
you know?
soul. It's soul.
It's soul.
Yeah, you can tell when people sing. I was listening to some people sing. Like some people sing with passion,
Right?
but they don't have soul. Oh man, you gotta have passion and soul. You know what? Christina Aguilera, she's got pipes. She's got passion and she's got soul. She sings with soul. I like Adele. Adele's got that in there.
Yeah.
Have you heard Adele?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
man.
right. And she's from the UK.
Oh, Adele's got it. Love Adele. Ariana Grande.
Oh, yeah.
She's good. Oh,
So you can be white and have a little bit of soul up in
You
you.
can. I'm telling you. She's mixed, I think, right?
Oh, is she?
But yeah, she's really tiny, but she's when I
little
tell you, she's good. She's got a big voice. Little tiny girl, lady, but she's got a big voice. She
Yeah.
can sing.
She can sing.
I like it.
Yeah, good Oscars run, man. Super happy for, and not to sound like a cheese ball, but for my friends who are African American. I just feel like there was so much validation.
We win.
Yeah, man. Like, seriously, like, we're supposed to, I think this is an area where we should be way more PC than ever before, is seeing, red, yellow, black, and white lifted up in these different areas of arts. And it's just so cool to see so many different, colors kind of put on display with so many, good films to pick from. So I'm just super, super pumped about that.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes me want to see some of the other ones, like you were talking about. I don't think I've seen A Star Is Born, so I want to definitely check that out. And because it's Spike Lee, I've got mad respect for Spike. I'm kind of curious in that movie, but now that you've said what you said, I'm kind of like, maybe not.
You can watch it. I don't hate Spike Lee, but it was certain things were thrown in there and it just didn't seem right. And like I said, it didn't know if it was a comedy. It didn't know if it was a drama. It wasn't dramatic enough to be a drama. It wasn't comedic enough to be a comedy. And so it didn't know what it was, and the whole film just sort of falls flat. But because
it makes a difference,
because the subject matter was about racism and fighting racism, people get excited about that.
Right.
But the actual execution of the film, to me, was poor, and so you lose out.
Well said. Well said. And you know what? Somebody that understands the film storytelling can articulate that better. So kudos to you for explaining it that way. Yeah, just because it's pushing against a hot topic doesn't make it artistically...
Or a good film.
Yeah. The Green Book, though, anybody that's watching this, you got to see The Green Book, man. It's off the hook. I texted him.
Yeah, he told me about it.
You have to watch this movie. So good. And I don't know the main dude in...
It's Marshall Ali, something like that.
He is
good. He's like a Denzel. Like, he's consistent. He is good.
He is like a Denzel Washington, man. Like, so if you haven't seen that, you've got to watch it, man. That movie, ooh, man, it'll do something to you. It exposes the ugliness of back in the day and how far we've come. I've got to say this. I feel like I need to say this. This is super important. Okay. I know that it sucked back in the day, but I look at where we're at today. And I look at ESPN and all these news broadcasting, and it's not perfect, but man, and we have a long ways to go for sure, but it has never been this good in terms of a melting pot of people in front of the camera. And it clearly, there's always ways to improve for sure. But I have seen it change drastically in the last 3 to 5 years. And I'm so proud of that. I don't know if that sounds silly or not.
But you should be, because you are an American.
Yes.
You should be. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. You, as an American, you should be happy when other Americans succeed.
Yep.
And I agree with you. It's not perfect, but the reason it is that way is because we have people who are pushing to either expose the darkness, but also pushing to expose and show their cultures and show that there are other stories to tell. And everybody's got a story.
Yep.
So I have to shout out to all those pioneers, people who are making films that show, Latinos in a positive light, and show, other cultures, Asians. You had Crazy Rich Asians. I didn't really like the film. I didn't think it was very good, but I like the fact that
expose culture.
Yeah, I like the fact that Asians got a film, that's something that they could call their own.
Right.
So I'm happy for them. Again, I didn't really like the film, but I thought it's not so much about the film, it's about their opportunity. And I love that they got opportunities. So I don't like PC, but I understand that there are positive parts of PC. If people were just good human beings, we wouldn't need PC. We wouldn't need the Me Too. We wouldn't need a lot of these things. But because there are bad people in the world, then we need these movements. So I completely understand, and kudos to everybody who was pushing diversity and pushing empowerment forward. I love it.
Yep. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Well,
That's it.
Feel like we have jibber jabbered for quite a while.
We did, and we didn't even get on to the topic that I wanted to talk about. But
You're
it's
kidding.
okay.
What,
That's okay.
What was it that you wanted to talk about?
We can do it. We can do it next. But it was, can people change?
Oh,
There's a lot. Between the last time you and I talked, a lot happened. And so, can people change? So maybe that's what we'll talk about on the next episode.
maybe that'll be it. Maybe, right there. Boom. Next episode. Can people change? You should comment. Can people change?
Can they change? Let
Can
us
they
know.
change?
Let us know.
All right.
All right. Till next time.
See ya.
If you like what we've got going on,
We've got it going on.
click the button to subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
Yeah,